Now, they're also taking some heat over something that went on with WordPress. Are you familiar with WordPress, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use WordPress.
Yeah, you
make websites.
You do a blog back in the day.
Yeah.
And you boot up WordPress, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Well, WordPress, they're still kicking it. They're still around and doing well, I presume. I mean, they had a huge user base, obviously.
They still do, yeah.
Massive install base of websites built on the backbone, WordPress backbone. Anyway, Apple once again got upset because WordPress was trying to advertise their premium subscriptions inside of their iOS app. Now, they weren't actually doing transactions out around, sort of circumventing the App Store policies, but instead they were advertising, hey, start up a subscription, go to our website. And start up a subscription, you'll get all these extra features, including extra features within the app. And at first, Apple sitting there very epic-like saying, oh, you better smarten up, or we're going to give you the boot as well. And WordPress sitting there saying, well, we're just telling people that we do this other thing, and we want them to pay over here. And so Apple said, no. If you're going to sell that extra service and your install base, depending on iOS, we think you should have the option in there for a person to subscribe to that service through iOS. Right. Okay, this is the thing. But then people said, that's seeming a little bit extra. Is that what the kids say? Extra?
I think so.
Apple intended to prevent updates to the WordPress iOS app, which is free, until the project complied with its rule to enable in-app purchases. That move by Apple seemingly went against a recent policy update following a separate fight that Apple was having with the developers of the Hey email app, in which it blocked app updates until the startup enabled in-app purchases for its $99 annual subscription. So you see how this goes deeper, Will. Now you're not just saying, if you're going to process a transaction inside of your iOS app, you must use the iOS policy, and that transaction must happen through the App Store. They're also saying if you sell a subscription that impacts your iOS app, even if that subscription takes place outside of the iOS app, we still don't want that. We still think that you should purchase it directly through. And that's where people said, oh, this is getting a bit squirrely. It's getting a bit slippery because, holy moly, there's plenty of services you may have subscribed to outside of the app, and you may want that subscription to apply inside of the app. And but anyway, Apple felt they had a point, at least in the beginning, but now they backed off. And what does that showcase? Is Apple maybe easing up a little bit on some of the strict stuff? Because they backtracked. And I don't know if they apologized. The headline says Apple says sorry. Did they actually apologize? Let's find out. Apple issued the statement after key WordPress developer Matt Mullenweg detailed in a tweet that Apple planned to cut off updates and bug fixes unless the project committed to supporting in-app purchases for WordPress payment plans in the iOS app. And here's Apple's quote. Since the developer removed the display of their service payment options from the app, it is now a free standalone app and does not have to offer in-app purchases. So this is some sort of a policy, Will, where if you advertise that you do other business outside of the App Store, now you must enable in-app purchases. This one is more difficult than the Epic one, because Epic went the extra step and took your money directly within there through a separate payment processor. But this one I feel may rile up some of the audience members a little more, where you start to say, wow, they want a piece of everything. They want a piece of the outside stuff. They want, you put a banner, hey, we're having a sale on our site. Nah.
All the transactions have to go through Apple. Is it over?
I'm just saying it reaches pretty far, and you start to have a...
branches.
Now, I know what Apple... Look, if you're on the Apple side of it, I know what Apple would say. They'd say, well, you're trying to take somebody out of the app to have them transact elsewhere in exchange for they're going to have to supply you with information, and we feel this is unsafe. So they're going to create a policy across the board, because you can imagine, well, and it's my job to showcase both sides of the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can imagine some nefarious app or app company. I'm not, for the record, I'm not necessarily on this side because I know Tim Sweeney's watching and he's upset that I'm even presenting their side of it. But they're going to say, we want to process it because we know it's safe, because we have that user data and we are protecting that user's data when they do this transaction. But if we let these apps pull people off site or out of the iOS app, which we've approved of, now they're transacting, they're giving you their data, and they found out about you because of the App Store.
Right.
So therefore, we feel responsible for that user experience, even as it branches off of the App Store itself. Mm-hmm. I'm just giving you both sides, Will.
I hear you.
It's my job.
A lot of security issues.
It's my job. I got to give you both sides.